Welcome back to DHN. Let's talk crypto. So I wanted to revisit the Algorand story we covered yesterday. The Algorand Foundation laying down some key connections in India. Pretty much we have a couple of university deals that's going to see DLT incorporated into the curriculums, Web3 as well. And we also had the association with the T-Hub, which is an innovation center. That's how we're going to get the connections to the 600 small businesses and enterprises for Algorand, and as well as, of course, this is the part of the news that is really catching the most attention, and I don't think it should. But yeah, the Algorand Foundation became a technology partner to the Clintons. All right, more specifically, as a part of their Clinton Climate Initiative. Now, what's interesting about that is it's actually going to be it's a co-funding thing, a joint program with SEWA, which is the Self Employed Women's Association, and they're going to be promoting entrepreneurial activities, women starting businesses with carbon credits, green technology, so forth and so on. And we know that's a big talking point, and we know that that's where the market is heading. What's funny though is that the Algorand community at large, you can see it on Twitter, everybody's freaking out like, oh no, I'm selling Algorand now. They're tied in with, the Illuminati and all of that. And I'm like, nah, well, okay, I respect that. I respect that viewpoint. But how I'm looking at it is, I'm not selling my Algorand. If anything, them being associated with the Clintons should show you that they're gonna be here a while. Okay. Now, there's no. I'm not making any promises as to what or what may not come from that. But that was the story. This is where we are now. What I want to do in this video, though, is add a bit more context specifically focused around the relationship with Algorand and India, and why at this time it is very significant. Okay. It is very significant. Now, you know how we like to do it here: global adoption, global perspective. So we're going to go on a bit of a trip. Now, as we mentioned in yesterday's video, India right now is the presidency for the G20. And what that simply means, they are the master of ceremonies for these meetings that occur. They've been occurring every year since 2007, I believe, shortly before the financial crisis. That's interesting. And then their very next meeting was 2009 in January. Anyway, so with India having this presidency, and their main talking point is that they're going to focus on crypto regulations. Well, we know because of the Agenda 2022 and 2023 videos that the focus outside of stablecoins is also DeFi and it's also cross border payments. The whole goal is to reduce the cost to less than 1%. That's the whole game plan here. And only certain blockchain projects will be able to do that, which all leads back to why I think Algorand establishing this presence in India is so important, because outside of leading the crypto regulation talks, the Indian government just launched a blockchain initiative with a private company. This is going to come with its own private blockchain that is said to be interoperable. It's actually EVM compatible. Fire. Fire. We'll call it Fire. But essentially, this is the direction that they're heading. And then, of course, if you're a fan of Hedera Hashgraph, you already know IT Madras, one of the largest universities out there, is also active and very heavily focused on blockchain technology. And that's another pattern too. When it comes to India, it's always a lot of universities. They're taking the university approach, which is very interesting because you're establishing your presence for years down the road. All right. And then we also have, of course, the CBDCs getting ready to circulate, getting ready to roll out. And this will be interesting because once the digital rupee gets going, then that'll be three. That'll be three major CBDCs in circulation on the planet by the end of the year. Okay. So if they're telling you that, cash is king, only temporarily. All right. Things are moving. But when it comes to India and Algorand, you have to think about it this way too. Algorand has a lot of research and a lot of study centered around central bank digital currencies. So, as was illustrated here, through the relationship with the T Hub, we're going to be exposed to a lot of these small businesses and enterprises in India. And if any of them are deciding to accept the digital rupee in any shape, form, or fashion, the potential could be that Algorand could develop or provide an application that will support the movement of a digital rupee, right? And here's why I think that, okay? Because the activity of Algorand in India, it's nothing new. I've been watching Algorand for a couple of years. That's why it made the Elite Eight list this year. I did not want to miss it, okay? A few months back, Italy made it known that their public blockchain of choice was going to be Algorand. And one of the first things that were going to happen is that Algorand was going to support a digital sureties platform. So we're talking about banking and insurance with this one. Now, what's interesting is that this new platform is expected to become operational in early 2023. This was announced in December. So that time frame is closing. That window is closing. We're going to see this application launch soon, and I think that may be contributing to the sustained price that Algorand, the sustained price activity that Algorand has had since we started the year. But the platform is expected to be operational early 2023 and will be the first time an EU member state enables the use of a blockchain technology for bank and insurance guarantees. Algorand is the only public blockchain that the digital surety platform will use. Now, this is when my research kind of took me to a different level here. Okay. So, what I did not know, and even though I read through this before, I didn't connect the dots until I reread it. That's why you got to go through things a couple times. But this program is a part of Italy's National Recovery and Resilience Plan, which is a subsidy program from the EU recovery program or recovery plan that was kicked forth because of the C-19. Now, we're not going to get into conspiracy theories, but if you look at the patterns, we've had more digital transformation after than before. Okay. But the EU allocates 200 billion euros to Italy, which is the largest allocation made to any country, and is going to be used for co grants and co loans as, of course, a part of the plan. Now, they also go in to talk about how that this specific initiative with Algorand and this digital sureties platform is going to help facilitate programs in this initiative. So, what you have an example of is Algorand once again being used as part of a government subsidy program. And I say again because we have the video on the channel where Algorand, it was a country in the Middle East, can't recall it at the moment, but I believe I played the clip in the video. But Algorand is the blockchain being used to support a government assistance program, right? This has automatically gotten me thinking, especially when we go over to IBS Intelligence and how they word this. They say it is expected that a significant percentage of bank and insurance guarantees will leverage digital ledger technologies as part of Italy's NRRP. So, again, they're letting us know that as part of this government initiative, this recovery plan, a significant percentage of bank and insurance guarantees are going to be running through Algorand. So, what is this going to look like? Well, I went and did dig a little further, okay? And you go to the Banca di Italy website and they provide you with a PDF. The PDF is called, let me go back up here so you can see that. Yeah, Bank of the Italy Eurosystem, focusing integrating DLTs with market infrastructure, analysis and proof of concept for secure DVP between TIPS and DLT platforms. I mean, that's key right there. DVP, that stands for delivery versus payment. And in our Agenda 2022 and 2023 video, the arrangements for delivery versus payment is also on that timeline, ladies and gentlemen. And the reason that is because they're trying to establish the most efficient way to deliver payments. Simply put, they want to be able to remove the middleman completely. And that's the terminology that they're using to describe it. Let me go back down to this diagram here because it's going to give us a picture of just exactly how Algorand is being used. And we'll zoom up here. Another thing I want to point out here is that you'll see Algorand is running alongside the TIPS payment system, which is the targeted instant payment service. This is the EU's payment system. So when we talk about ISO networks and things like that in relation to Algorand, here's how you would approach this situation. The tips service is the one that's picking up on the ISO messaging. What they're doing is taking the messaging and coding it in a way that can run through Algorand's DLT network. There's a clip circulating, Stacey Warden commenting on this very thing, where she describes the fact that it's not necessarily the ISO messaging is within the protocol. It's a situation where the protocol is compatible with the messaging. And what they're looking to do out in Italy, as you can see here, is store buyer and seller accounts on the Algorand blockchain, and through the series of smart contracts process the payments. And they've been comparing that to how the process goes with the target instant payment settlement system. And the consensus is showing that Algorand is a lot faster. On the subject of settlement and payment systems, guys, let me show you this, which I believe I did a video on this too, but we have Settlement. This payment institution is verified in Europe. They received a payment license in October. The reason why that's crucial, and they also mention it in this article, this Medium post from Algorand, they are one step closer to their MiCA regulation, MiCA legislation, which is going to serve as a global crypto framework. It's going to coincide with India's crypto regulation as well. So, what we see is a picture being painted of Algorand working in the places that are making the most important moves. You can see here Italy setting up crypto environment that meets EU's new laws. Central bank governor is telling us. I've been in this space going on about 4 years now, and Italy has been slowly positioning itself to receive the transition of blockchain technology. They've already established their crypto guidelines, how they choose to approach. They have relationships for their banks and crypto entities already. I learned the majority of that actually through looking up VeChain. The main reason why they moved to San Marino was because of the regulatory landscape in Italy. It goes even deeper than that. Blockchain Belt and Road. We're not going to get into it in this video. It's the locations that Algorand is working in that you should be excited about. If you're interested in that other government program that I mentioned in the video that Algorand was working on in the Middle East, that's on the screen for you right here. As always, I'm Wade Teamer. I'll see you in the next one.